Hi, I'm Richie Kuty. I'm here with Texans offensive lineman Kendall Lamm.
Pleasure to be here.
How are you? With Coach Cambruzzi and Coach Hales, how have they kind of shaped you into the sort of player that you are today?
I mean, it's fitting that we're doing this interview right here. Of course, as soon as I got back, as soon as the season ended, and I come back and I touch base with my family. But I went to Crestdale. I always go see Mr. Cambruzzi. He's the one who kind of showed me that offensive line could be something that I could possibly pursue later in life. And because up until that point, I was a defensive end my entire life. So to kind of transition, and I credit him for showing me that side of the ball more and more. I was always bigger, but I enjoyed defense way more.
Now, Deshaun Watson had a great rookie year.
Right.
Devastating injury with the ACL tear. Him coming back in this year and you having your first few starts this year, were you at all nervous or worried that if you messed up and the defensive end maybe hit him the wrong way, that could have happened again?
The game that we play is a very violent game. There's going to be injuries that happen. From my standpoint, that's how I got in the game at right tackle. You hate to see Centrell, one of my teammates, one of my O-linemen go down, but it's a part of the game. But at the same time, I play offensive line. I take it very seriously to allow him to be comfortable in the pocket.
Now, young NFL career.
For sure.
Again, with the first few starts this year.
Right.
Playing some really good teams, or very good defensive teams, and all-around great pass rushing teams. I want to know, who is the best defensive player you've had to block?
It would be... It's hard for me to answer that because the way my mind works and the way I see football and the way I dissect rushers would be completely different than how you and everybody else sees it. People fail to realize, people wouldn't understand that this is our lives, but my job is to dissect each pass rusher each and every day because it's a passing league. I would say if I had to pinpoint one, of course, Von Miller. Von Miller is he's Von. DeMarcus Lawrence is very good, but he's also a different rusher. He's a power rusher, wants to get into you and disengage and try to get you off balance. So the person that I would think is the hardest would be completely different from somebody else because it all depends on our skill set. But for me, I'll tell you one who's going to be very, very good when he learns a few more moves. He is going to be phenomenal. It's Myles Garrett.
Oh, yeah.
For Cleveland. He is going to be the truth because he's got so much God-given talent, God-given strength, and he's so fast coming off the ball. When he gets a few more moves in his arsenal, he'll be very, very good.
Especially with him coming from Texas A&M, where
Exactly.
Von Miller came from.
Yep.
Free agent this year.
Right.
Is there any team that you would like to play for specifically?
No, not really. From my standpoint, it's just I tell people all the time, I graduated here in 2010. It's 2019 and I'm still playing football. It's been a blessing, man. I tell the guys, I come back and talk to Anthony, the right tackle from here, talk to the O-line all the time. I was like, if you get the opportunity to play after high school, you've done so much that some people will never get the opportunity to do. And I've been fortunate and blessed to be going in my 5th season in the NFL. When I first got there, you only get 1 to 2, especially being undrafted, you don't get many. So just the fact, I always, I try to keep it in perspective because we're playing a young man's sport, we're playing a young boy's sport, and I'm doing it at the highest level. So if any team gave me the opportunity to continue to play, I'll be very, very grateful. Houston's been amazing. It'd be nice to go back, but at the end of the day, it's going to be in God's plan.
I want to switch it to a more personal
kind
of question. Your grandmother,
right?
Very big influence on your life. Basically raised you.
Oh, she did.
And I want to know, how has she really helped you through the ups and the downs in your career, and even in just mainly all the doubts that you've had?
For sure. She just retired at age 70. That speaks for itself. My grandmother gets up every day, no matter what's put in front of her. Handles her job, handles her business, doesn't complain. I never once, I can remember in life, heard her complain through my 26 years of life, especially me being my 18 years that I lived in the house with them. She set the tone. She showed me what it is. She showed me what it is to be an older person. She showed me what it is to be in her 30s and 40s. I just learned so much from her and how to live life that it's, in my opinion, she set the foundation for me. She did. And of course, she's been going through dealing with cancer and everything. And I haven't seen, like, you would never know. Like, when I tell people that, or when they find out, you would never know. Because nothing will ever break my grandmother's spirit. I mean, she's going to be who she is regardless. And that's something that I've always held near and dear, because regardless of, well, he's to this and he's to that and he's not going to be able, like, none of the outside really matters to me, because for me it's more about proving what I know and myself right, and I really could care less about what you got to say. I mean, that's just the approach I've always taken.
With the ACC championship, obviously you guys didn't make it. Most people say that you guys should have made it over Pitt, but being in the same conference as Clemson, Clemson beat you guys out. Do you guys feel if you were in the ACC championship game against Clemson, you would have done a better job than Pitt, or you would have won the game?
Based off the result of the game earlier this year, I think we definitely would have gave him another run. I can't tell you who would have won or not, but we have just as well of a chance as they did to beat us. So they're a good team, but their big notoriety that comes with their name isn't enough.
I think that under different circumstances we would have been in that game. Like Cisco said, it would have been an exciting one to watch, just like the first go around. I think we would have put up a good challenge, and I think that Clemson probably knows that, but that story's untold, because that's not the reality we live in. So
going off that, I mean, I could say they definitely would want to see us again. Especially playing at a neutral site. We this close. Death Valley. A lot of people don't understand Death Valley is a hard place to play, and to lead that game for 3 quarters. It was crazy, man. We was right there. Just a few big plays away. But we definitely gave them guys a run though in the ACC championship.
Now, Andre, it's your freshman season. Coming in, making first team All-ACC defense. How does that feel coming in, knowing that you are that good to be on the first ACC defensive team?
It's an honor in itself. I mean, playing in one of the Power 5 conferences and then being able to be listed on something like that, it doesn't happen often. So I'm just honored, and then I couldn't do it without the guys around me and the coaches.
Now, Kendall, you've had some monster games this year. You've had a great game against Clemson where you had 2 sacks. I want to know, how did you prepare for these types of games?
Having games like that all comes from the week before. It all comes from the preparation. Going in there, spending extra time in the film room, knowing about not only what you initially see of your opponent on the film, but also the small details that you could pick up on, which way he's looking before the play starts, if he tweaks his left foot outward, depending on which way he's going, all that stuff. It'll give the play away before it even about to happen. And that's exactly what happened on one of those sacks. Actually, they had to tell that we caught on to as a defense, knew what play was coming, and I was able to jump the play.
Now, Andre, you came from IMG Academy, which is by far one of the best high school football programs in the nation. How do you think the coaches at IMG prepared you to play in college?
Well, being at IMG in itself, you're around some of the best players in the nation, and some guys that already play at college speeds, in high school. So that combined with the experience that the coaches had in the NFL and college, it all just adds up to transform players.
Now, Kendall, I want to know, how has Alton Robinson kind of influenced your game? You guys are both juniors. You guys both came in at the same time. How is he? Has he taught you anything to make you better?
Definitely. And first off, the first example we can point back to is that play that I was just talking about with Clemson. Alton was the one who actually called out what the play was and told me it was coming my way. So he basically put the sack in my hand. All I had to go do was finish it. So I feel like Alton and I are 2 halves of the same coin. We're both good players playing on the opposite sides of each other, and we bring the aspects of each other's games out that we don't naturally have or that we don't naturally go to. And working with him has definitely developed my skill set a lot, seeing what he does and trying to emulate some of that stuff into my game too.
All right, so Kendall, with Will Greer being out, he's obviously Heisman candidate, very great quarterback that can read defenses easily, a mobile quarterback. Does this make the job easier for the defense?
Not at all. In fact, I think it makes it probably harder. We knew exactly who we were going up against, and now we got kind of a surprise. There's film of the next guy up, but there's only a few clips here and there, so we haven't seen a ton of what he can do, and that's not even guaranteed that he's going to be the guy that's going to be out there. So I would have been. Plus, I would have loved to have gotten a shot at the best.
Yeah.
So, but all that being said, it's still going to be a good game. Whoever the next man up, he's out there playing for a reason. They got him on the team for a reason, so I'm sure he's a guy that can go, and excited to get an opportunity to play against him.
Now, Mo, you find holes easy at the offensive line. Break through the offensive line for good gains, like the 65-yarder against Louisville. Does it take a lot of patience, or do you have to be explosive off the line to get that, or to have that kind of like reading, pretty much?
I would say it's a little bit of both. A little bit of just being patient, just let the blocks develop, and also when you get to the hole, you also got to be explosive. You got to hit the hole hard, be able to run through arm tackles, and being able to make guys miss, open field. So I think it's just
Now, with the basketball team being ranked earlier in the year, kind of struggling now, but not, they're kind of finding their way. You guys obviously being ranked, having a great year, having a breakout year under Coach Babers. Do you guys feel like there's a sense of like competition between who's better between the football and basketball team?
I wouldn't say so, just because it sounds like we look down upon the basketball team when they're not ranked or when we're ranked higher than them. I mean, it's two different sports, two totally different schedules and stuff like that. So, but it is cool when we're both ranked at the same time.
So, Andre, with being coming on as a freshman, being a huge star, 7 interceptions this year, very great. Well, not just great, amazing. How do you prepare for these kind of games, and do you kind of feel a sense of confidence or very nervous?
Preparing for games like these, it's just, luckily we have extra time with a bowl game just because the season ended over a month ago. So all this time we've had to prepare, it's just more time for extra film, extra time to get my body right. So preparation is just the same, just I would just say extended. So going into this game, I feel confident. I mean, watching them on film, I like seeing explosive offenses. It's just a better challenge for us, and so I'm just excited and confident going into this one.
Now, Kendall, you're in your junior year, heading into your senior year. How have you, from freshman year coming in, or even senior year in high school, how have you improved mentally, and how have you improved physically?
Well, coming out of my senior year in high school, I had shoulder surgery, and I got cleared, I want to say like 2 or 3 days before I got dropped off on campus. I got cleared to play football again, so definitely a lot of physical improvements going on there because I ended up having shoulder surgery last year again too, so this year I feel a lot different just having the chance to be able to, after the surgery from this past season, being able to develop my body, get myself ready to go, and find the right way to play at, and getting the ability to be out there training the right way with the coaches that we have in their backgrounds, and mentally, being a freshman, being on the field, especially up there in the trenches, my mind was just racing, especially having 300-pounders in your face all the time. That's tough stuff. So freshman year is just kind of trying to keep up and not let everybody else down. But I've seen my growth, and like I said, my preparation in the film room and stuff like that, and just being able to see the plays develop in front of me. The game slowed down a lot as I've gotten older, and so now stuff seems a little bit more easy for me to be able to react to out there on the field.
Mo, since our last interview, obviously with the great game against Louisville, how have you really improved since our last interview, which is over a course of about 4 games, but there's still room for improvement after every game. How do you feel you've improved?
I just feel like offense as a whole has improved, which has helped my game. The offensive line blocking, the receivers doing their part on the outside, blocking on the edge, blocking downfield. Me, just studying film more. Being able to pick up blitzes and just make sure I'm protecting the quarterback back there and just make sure I'm making all the right calls and making the right reads. So just getting better, as a whole, collectively as an offense. Just reflect on my game as well.
Now, obviously, the offense is going fast. I want to get each of your take on this. No huddle offense. So for the defense, how does it feel like after you're coming off from a drive and you got to stop and you come, they rush down the field, score? Do you guys feel kind of tired getting onto the field since it's a no huddle offense and it's very fast and you're just coming right off the field?
For me, it's if they take the whole field to get down there and score, that's plenty of time for me to catch my breath. Especially watching the other team's D-line go out there and they're gasping for air and stuff like that. It's kind of energizing to me. It gives me life. So I love it. Gets us back on the field, and it also creates a little bit of a mind game for the other team's offense. If the defense goes out there and gets a 3 and out, and our offense goes all the way down the field and scores on them, and it happens like that, and then they got to come back out there and they didn't have time to correct their mistakes from the last drive, puts them kind of in a tricky situation where they got to figure out, okay, where do we go from here?
Now, Andre, obviously going to school here in Florida for high school, what kind of influenced you to go to Syracuse, which is about 13 hours away or so?
Yeah, I'm originally from Long Island, so I live in Long Island, and once I was offered by Syracuse, I was automatically interested just in coming back home. So yeah, from there, after I took my visit and everything, I just love the school itself. Like outside of football, the campus and everything, just the energy in the city. I just enjoyed all of it.
Now, Mo, you have a great season. Obviously, very good with the rushing, 5.6 yards. As I said before, I want to know, going up against these kind of defenses, hard, nationally ranked teams like Clemson and even Pittsburgh. How does it kind of vary? How do you have to adjust your game based on the defensive schemes?
Well, I mean, going into it, this is not it's going to be a slouch team. When you're playing big time defenses like that, you got to find their weaknesses, and you got to attack it, and you got to attack it heavy. So just going into the game, I wouldn't say nothing changes mentally. It's another game, and I believe in my ability to be able to make plays on whatever defense I face. And that's just having confidence in my offensive line, myself, and all the other guys around me. So just being prepared and being able to execute.
And now, starting lineups for your Butler Bulldogs. Starting at goalie today, number 2, Sophia Brotherton. In the midfield, we got number 3, Kristen Liso.
They look all healthy.
Number 6, playing forward, Juju.
Hope they're not healthy. I think it's 2 on the bench.
Number 7, and one of your captains playing midfield, Megan LaVenture.